Hey guys, okay, so now we're gonna do rotations. So rotating is basically you're gonna have one spot, you're staying on 1 foot, I guess, if I'm standing here. A rotation is when we keep one spot exactly the same and we move around on that one spot, okay? So if I'm starting here and this is my baseline. If I want to go 90 degrees, I'm going to make one turn here. This is 90 degrees. If I turn again, I have 180. So I'm the opposite way that I was before. This would be 270. And then 360 is back to 0. Okay? So the next thing that you guys need to know is clockwise and counterclockwise. So you're going to be told in your question, am I moving clockwise or counterclockwise? Because that'll make a big difference. So clockwise is when we go this way, the direction that the hands on the clock move. So as we're going, we want to move around this way. And then you could also have counterclockwise. You could be going backwards. Okay? So just think of how a clock moves. And that's kind of how your direction goes. So if I wanted to start here, clockwise would be if I were going this way. Counterclockwise would be going the other way. Okay? So we basically have to do this with our shapes over here. So we have all of this set up for you guys already. So rotating is rotating a shape on a point. So sometimes your point is going to be here. There can be times when your point is like right off of it. So I guess our first example, we're going to stay on that particular, like on a point on our grid. So I have all my coordinates written out here, and I have my little, my circle, and I'm gonna write my degrees on it to make sure that in my brain it stays straight. So I'm gonna go, this is 0/360. So once we get to 360, we've turned around.
Can you use a pen?
Oh, okay. So this is 0/360. If we're going clockwise, this would be 90. So I'm going to put 90 here, 180, and 270. Okay, so each block is going to be 90 degrees because we know when we draw our little box in here, that's 90 degrees. So what we're going to do is I have to rotate rectangle ABCD 270 degrees counterclockwise. So if this is clockwise, counterclockwise is going to be the opposite way. So if I have to go 270 degrees, I go 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns. However, this is clockwise. So if I want to go counterclockwise, I have to do 3 turns in the other direction, okay? So, and we're going to go around point A. So the first thing you have to do, I've got my parchment paper from my kitchen, and I'm going to trace my shape. And we have to make sure that we also label our shape on the tracing paper because it could really mess you up when you go to label it afterwards because it's going to look funny. So this is A, B, C, and D. So once we have our shape drawn, I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to draw my little grid guy going through A, so that I know exactly how many turns and what I'm doing. So this one I'm just going to draw in pencil because it can be lighter. Is that visible?
Yeah.
Or do I need another pen? Okay.
And the reason why she's drawing the line through point A is because the instructions said to rotate it on point A. So point A is going to stay where it is.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of like where that plus sign is that she just drew.
Perfect. So I know that right here for my A, if I'm drawing my A to B line, this is going to be 0. Okay. So this says counterclockwise. So each turn, I'm going to go up 90 degrees. So from here, we're going backwards, the opposite of how a clock would go. So this would be my 90. This would be my 180. And another 90 degrees is going to be right here for 270. All right. So now I'm going to take my paper. I'm going to line up my shape. When you draw your actual shape, use a ruler, people. But when it's just your tracing paper, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to do one turn, and I'm going to line up my AB with each line here. So I'm going to do one turn. I've lined my AB up with 90 degrees. I'm going to do turn number 2. Now I've lined it up with 180. And now if I do my turn number 3, I'm now at 270. So I now know that my coordinates are going to line up in these spots. So my A prime is going to be 9, 6. And you'll notice that that is exactly the same as the first one because you are pivoting on A. A should not change. Whatever point you're rotating on shouldn't change. Then we have B prime is going to go to 9, 3. Then we have C prime is on 5, 3. And D prime is going to be on 5, 6. I find that the easier way to be able to draw, but you could also lift up all of your points and draw them underneath. But I think your paper could move, it would look weird. So I'm just gonna go based on the points. So this is my A prime. I draw my little apostrophe. My B prime is at 9, 3. So 9, 3 is going to be B prime. C prime is, we said 5, 3. So C prime. And then my D prime was 5, 6. And I'm gonna lay this guy back on top to make sure that all of my lines have, all of my points are properly labeled. So I have A, B, C, D, and we're good to go. And now we just connect our dots. Oh, I didn't make a dot for D. How terrible of me. Alrighty, and now we have rotated. Woohoo!